Hey everybody, it's Craig with Smartphone Enemy. Got a great face-off for you today between two Motorola dual-core processing smartphones, the Motorola Droid X2 on Verizon and the Motorola Atrix 4G offered up by at&t. Don't forget to stop by smartphoneenemy.com. Check out the winner of today's face-off along with the written review. Also have some photos and videos posted from both of today's contestants. Also want to thank Best Buy Mobile over here in the Thousand Oaks Mall for the use of the Motorola Droid X2. If you're in need of a smartphone, make sure you stop by, see Monica. She'll take care of you and get you set up with whatever it is you might need. All right, let's kick off our face-off, the Motorola Droid X2. Dual-band CDMA, EVDO Rev A 3G, no 4G connectivity, weighs in at 155 grams. It's the heavier of the two. Build quality is exactly the same as the original Droid. You've got Gorilla Glass. You've got 4 physical keys just below the display here. You've got a nice texture coat that covers the entire phone, which makes it feel very solid in your hand. Battery cover, pull that off, is metal, which is nice, again with the texture coating on top. Underneath the battery cover, you've got a 1540 milliamp hour battery. Couldn't find a rating on it to this point, but I'm going to guess somewhere around 6.5 hours, especially with a display that size. You've got your micro SD card slot right here, so it is not hot swappable. Phone speaker right down here at the bottom, along with one of the other microphones for noise cancellation. And let me get this back on, slide it back up. Upper left corner is your 8 megapixel camera and dual LED flash. Up on top, the other microphone, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, power and lock key. On the right hand side, volume rocker up and down. On the bottom, nothing. And on the left hand side is your micro HDMI port as well as your micro USB port. All right, the Atrix 4G, quad band GSM, tri-band 3G, offers at&t's HSPA plus 4G connectivity, weighs in at 136 grams, so it's the lighter of the two. As far as build quality, you've got Gorilla Glass. The frame itself, or the chassis of the phone, is actually made of metal, which you can see right there. Underneath the battery cover, which is made out of a rubberized plastic. You've got your micro SD card slot right here, which makes it hot swappable, which is nice. SIM card slot, battery, 1930 milliamp hour battery, best battery I'm aware of. Rated at 9 hours of talk time. Phone speakers right down here in the lower left-hand corner. Upper left-hand corner is your dual LED flash 5 megapixel camera. Upper back is one of the microphones. Next to that is the fingerprint reader, which acts also as the power and lock key. Up on top is 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Should get the battery cover all the way on. Right-hand side's volume rocker, nothing on the bottom, and on the left-hand side, again, you've got the micro HDMI out as well as the micro USB port. All right, let's talk cameras. On the Droid X2, you've got an 8 megapixel camera with autofocus. Again, dual LED flash, geotagging as well as touch focus. Video capture is 720p. Video playback capable of 1080p full HD. On the Atrix 4G, 5 megapixel camera with autofocus. Again, dual LED flash. Offers geotagging as well as image stabilization. Video capture is 720p. All right, let's take a look at the displays on both. Those bad boys lined up for you. That looks pretty straight. All right, Droid X2, 4.3-inch QHD capacitive touch display showing 540 by 960 pixels, accelerometer, sensor, proximity sensor, as well as multi-touch. There is no front-facing camera. Just below the display, you have 4 physical keys, main menu key, home key, back key, as well as search key. On the Atrix 4G, you've got a 4-inch QHD capacitive touch display, again showing 540 by 960 pixels. It also offers accelerometer, sensor, proximity sensor, as well as multi-touch. You do have a front-facing camera for video calls in the upper left-hand corner, and you have 4 touch-sensitive keys below the display. Same order, main menu key, home key, back key, and search key. Memory on the Droid X2, 8 gigabytes of internal storage, 512 megabytes of RAM, and you can expand internal storage an additional 32 gigabytes through the use of a micro SD card. On the Atrix 4G, you get 16 gigabytes of internal storage, 1 gigabyte of RAM, and again, you can expand internal storage an additional 32 gigabytes through the use of a micro SD card. Both of the phones offer Wi-Fi 802.11 BGNN support for DLNA, and both of them have HDMI out. Both of them offer Bluetooth version 2.1 with support for A2DP, GPS with support for AGPS. Both can be used as Wi-Fi hotspots. The processors, they both share, or they both have a 1 gigahertz NVIDIA dual-core Tegra 2 processor. Operating system on both, again, is Android 2.2 Froyo, and they both have Motorola's Moto Blur UI overlay. All right, as you can see, I stopped by the Android market today, downloaded the Quadrant Center benchmark test on our 2 contestants. What I say we kick this off, looks like we get a good clean start. And again, the Droid X is running the Droid X2, excuse me, is running the 1 gigahertz NVIDIA dual-core Tegra 2 processor, same as in the Atrix 4G. The big difference is the Droid X2 has 512 megabytes of RAM versus the 1 gigabyte of RAM in the Atrix 4G. Gives you a good look at the displays on both. I've got them both set to default brightness. Lower left-hand corner gives you frame rate and frames per second. And the Droid X2 looks to be tearing this up. Still waiting on the Atrix 4G to get through to the graphics. And there it goes. And the Droid X2 is just about done. And it came back with 2532. We've got one more graphics test to go. And there it is. Alright. And the Atrix 4G came back with 2332. So our winner, the Quadrant Center benchmark test, is going to be the Motorola Droid X2. Alright, it's time for the unofficial speed test. I think I've got advanced task killer on both of these. Let's go in and kill everything running in the background on both. Back to the home page, and let's kick this off with calendar. That was definitely the Atrix 4G. Let's try settings. That seemed to be the Atrix 4G. Let's try maps. That was the Atrix 4G as well. Let's try text messaging. That looked like a tie. It was hard for me to tell. Gmail. That was the Atrix 4G. Let's try the market. Definitely the Atrix. Still waiting for the... And I don't know why the Droid X hasn't updated the market, but it hasn't at this point. Let's try contacts on both. That was definitely the Droid X. For some reason, contacts is very slow on the Atrix 4G. Let's try the dialer on both. And I brought up contacts again, so we won't count that one. What haven't we tried? Let's try third party. And Atrix 4G won that. Let's see if we can get this to play. If it doesn't play, that's going to be the end.
Echo from Sprint, the first dual touchscreen smartphone. Two's better than one. Ask Double Dream Hands Man, who just released his latest.
Alright, that was pretty bizarre. It looked like that video started up at exactly the same time on both of them. And now we're going to the preview.
Hey everybody, here's some fun facts. The population of Thailand is 63 million people. It is twice the size.
Alright, so there's our unofficial speed test, which I would say was won by the Atrix 4G. Alrighty, let's do our YouTube comparison. I've got them both running off the same Wi-Fi network. They're both set to default to HQ. And let's kick this off. Little Black Eyed Peas. And it doesn't look like anybody wants to play it. Well, there we go. Alright, let's switch the lighting on both of them so it's even. And let's find another one. That was Atrix 4G, I think it was just a little bit quicker. Little Wayne. And we're off. Alright, that looked about as close as it could get to being even. Let's try Horrible Boss Trailer, and we're off. All right, there's a look at our YouTube comparison. The Atrix 4G seemed to be just a hair quicker at uploading and spooling the videos, and that gives you a look at the displays on both, and I'll let you pick which one you like best. All right, what do you say we take a look at a little gaming on both? We'll start with the Atrix 4G. Do a quick race. Oh, watch out. We'll take that. There we go. Alright, there's a Droid X2, and we'll Atrix 4G. Oop. I found that one wrong. Alright, there's a look at the Atrix 4G, so there's a little gaming on our two combatants. Alright, let's try and do a little navigating. I'll try and kick them off at the same time. Navigate to Corner Bakery. Make it the Corner Bakery, there we go, and we're off.
Head southwest on Lansburn Circle toward Cuffing Way, then turn left onto Cuffing Way. Turn left onto La Venta Road, then turn left onto Acre Road.
I gotta tell you, they both hit it. I had the mute, unfortunately, on the Atrix 4G, but it grabbed them. They both were pretty much instantaneous as far as getting us.
Turn left onto Cuffing Way, then turn left onto La Venta Road.
Getting us the voice guided turn by turn. Let me put these both on mute now so we don't have to listen to them when they start talking again. There's a look at the maps on both. Scroll around a little bit on the Droid X2. Redraws pretty quick. Pinch to zoom, works great. No issues whatsoever. Zoom out. Works very well. Alright, Atrix 4G. Seems to redraw just a little bit quicker. Pinch to zoom, again no problem. It seems to redraw a little bit faster. Alright, so there's a look at navigating on both of our combatants, and they both did a phenomenal job. Two of the best so far in being able to pull down the voice-guided turn-by-turn navigation almost instantly from the time I set them off to find the Corner Bakery for us.